Class 6. Today I am going to teach you the story, The Little Prince. It is from your book, The Roots. Roots. Book name is Roots, English Literature. You have book. And chapter 1. Chapter 1 of English Literature, that is The Little Prince Visits the King. Now, writer is Anthony de Saint-Exupéry. Now, writer is, that is the name of the author, Anthony de Saint-Exupéry. He was a French pilot and a writer. He was a French pilot and a writer. Now, listen carefully. In this chapter, we will learn about asteroids. Asteroids. What are asteroids? It is a term, I think, to most of you. It is first time you are listening. They are small bodies that orbit the sun, but are different from the moons of a planet. They are irregularly shaped, just like the rocks we see around us, and are made of carbon, stone, and metal. So, first of all, what is asteroids? These are small bodies that orbit the sun, but are different from the moon of a planet. They are irregularly shaped, just like the rocks we see around us, and are made of carbon, stone, and metal. Now, let us read a story about a king who lives in a small asteroid and claims to rule over everything. So in this story, we will come across of a story of a king who lives in a small asteroid and claims to rule over everything. The little prince found himself in the neighborhood of the asteroids. A little prince came and he found himself in the neighborhood of the asteroids 325, 326, 327, 328, 329 and 330. He began therefore by visiting them in order to increase his knowledge. The prince started to visit all the asteroids in the neighborhood. The purpose of his visit was to increase his knowledge. The first of them, that is the first of the asteroids, was inhabited by a king. A king used to inhabit the first of the asteroids. The king, clad in royal purples and ermine, his dress, purple and ermine, he was seated upon a throne, which was at the same time both simple and majestic. The king was sitting on a throne, which was at the same time simple and majestic. Now, listen carefully, all of my students then, carefully. So the prince started to visit the asteroid. The first of the asteroid was inhabited by the king. Now, here is a subject. When the king saw the prince, the king said, "Oh, for the first time of my life, I am looking at a subject." Exclaimed the king when he saw the little prince coming. The little prince was coming. The little prince asked himself, how could he recognize when he had never seen me before? The prince said that, how could you recognize me? Because you have not seen me before. He did not know how the world is simplified for kings. To them, all men are subjects. Then the king said, you never know. We were the kings. To us, the whole world is very much simple. because everyone is subject to us. Now, approach. Maybe the king said, approach to me. And I feel very proud because I found someone to be my subjects. The little prince looked everywhere to find a place to sit down. The prince was very tired. Now, this is your book, page number 12. All of you open page 12. That is, the prince was very tired, so he wanted a place to sit down. And as he was so tired, he wanted to yawn. Y-A-W-N. As he was going to yawn, to start a yawn, the king gave objection. The king gave objection. He said, you don't know any manners? Don't you know any manners? In front of the king, how dare you are that you are yawning? Now, next page. That is page number 13. I could not help it. I can't stop myself, replied the little prince. Thoroughly embarrassed, I have come on a long journey and I have no sleep. The prince said that I am very exhausted. I came a long way here and so I had no sleep. Then the king ordered him to yawn. Okay, you yawn. The king said, it is years since I have not seen anyone yawning. Yawn's time are objects of curiosity. At times, yawns became object of curiosity. Come on now, yawn again. It is an order. It is an order of me. Yawn again. Now, so what happened? Let me explain. The prince entered the first asteroid. The first asteroid was inhabited by the king. The king became very happy when he saw the prince and said, oh, I am looking at my subject. Here is a subject. The prince said that you don't know me. You didn't see me before. How could you understand that I am your subject and I am the prince? The king said, you don't know. We are the king, and to us the whole world is very much simplified. Because we are the king and everyone here are our subjects. Everyone here are our subject. Now, then the king asked the prince to yawn. Okay, you yawn. And it is for the first time, for a long time, I have not seen anyone yawning. And it's an object of great curiosity. It is an object of great curiosity. Now, then the king said that I am the authority here. I never tolerated any disobedience from any person. I never tolerated any disobedience from any person because I am the absolute monarch. Now, the king said, as I am a very good person, I made everyone very much reasonable. Now the king said that if I ordered any general, that general at once ready to change himself. And if I ordered a general to turn into seabird, if the general did not obey me, then I will punish him. Then the prince asked the king, page number 13, all of you look page number 13, my students. Look at the book. If I ordered a general, he would say by way of example, if I ordered a general to change himself into a seabird, and if the general did not obey me, that would not be the fault of the general, it would be my fault. So the king said that if I ordered a general to obey me, and if the general did not obey me, that is not the fault of the general, but it was the fault of myself. Now, then the prince said, may I sit down? Then the king said, yes, I order you to sit down. Now, but the little prince was wondering. The planet was tiny. Over there was no people, no one. So to whom the king was ruling? So the prince said that, sir, I wanted to ask you one question. To whom you rule? You rule over whom? I can't see any person here. The king replied, I ruled over everything here. The moon, the planet, the stars, everything of the universe I used to rule. Now, open page number 14. All of you, page 14 open. Now, the king made a gesture which took in his planet, the other planets and all the stars. That is, the king said that I rule all the planet and all the stars. Over all that, asked the little prince. The prince said that you ruled over everything. The king answered, for his rule was not only absolute, it was also universe. The king replied, yes, and my rule is not absolute, but my rule is universal. Then the prince wanted to ask, and the stars? The stars obey you, the stars also obey you. Then the king said that, yes, all the stars also obeying me. Certainly, all the stars are under my subordination. I ordered the stars. Now then, look at the book, all of my students. Such power I have. Look at the book, page 14. Such power was a thing for the little prince to marvel at. If he had been master of such complete authority, he would have been able to watch the sunset, not 44 times in one day, but 72 or even 100. So the prince thought that if, like the king, he would be the owner of the universe, he would order the sunset and wish to see as many times as he liked. Then the prince said that I want to see the sunset. And again, the king said that if I ordered a general to fly from one flower to another, the butterfly will change himself into the seabird. And the general did not carry out the order that he had received. Then the king said that it would be the fault of myself if I ordered the general to carry on my order, to fly from one place to another like the seabird, and the general, if did not obey it, it is the fault of myself. Now, exactly one must inquire from each one the duty which each one can perform. The king said that one must perform the duty which that person can do. Accepted authority rests first of all reason. I have the right to require obedience because my orders are reasonable. The king said that I always wanted to get obedience from others because my orders are always reasonable. Now, The prince then said, "What about the sunset? I want to see the sunset." Then the king replied that, "You shall have your sunset. I shall command it." The king said, "Yes, you will see the sunset. I shall command, means I will order it. But according to my signs of government, I shall wait until conditions are favorable. You cannot see it all the time. You will see when it is possible, at exact time." Now, my student, all of you now look at the meaning. First meaning you write ermine, ERMINE, ermine. Page number 14, few meanings I am giving, okay? Ermine is the white fur of a type of whistle given in your book, often used to decorate formal robes. From the book you write, etiquette means manners, the rules of correct or polite behavior. The rules of correct or polite behavior. Abashed, embarrassed, embarrassed. Now, all my student, you write insubordination. Insubordination, page number 14. The refusal to obey orders, to show respect for somebody who has a higher rank at, who has a higher rank. Marvel at, be very surprised or impressed by something. Be very surprised or impressed by something. Now, my student, again you write the meaning hastened. Hastened meaning here is something without delay. These are the meaning. So let me repeat few of the things again. The name of the story is The Little Prince, and in the story what we came to know, that in this chapter we will learn about asteroids. We will learn about asteroids. They are small bodies that orbit the sun but are different from the moons of a planet. They are irregularly shaped, just like the rocks we see around us, and are made of carbon, stone and metal. Now, so first asteroids is very important, and in this story a prince, he wanted to explore, EXPLORE, explore the asteroids, and wanted to enhance, means increase his knowledge. So the little prince started his journey to the asteroids, and he came to the first asteroids that was inhabited by a king. Now, then the prince came in contact with the king, with the prince came in contact of the king. He accumulated many experience, many things from the king. The king demanded himself, he was the supreme power. Though he was simple, he was also majestic. Now, these are the important things, and the prince came to know from the prince came to know from the king that he was the supreme power, and the prince was the subject of the king, and the king was the ruler of entire universe, the stars, the moon and everything. He commanded everything, and everything, stars, sunset, everything, the general must act according to the command of the king. And the king also said that if the general did not obey the order of the king, that was the fault of the king, not of the general. So supreme power was vested within the king. So my students, today up till this, in my next class, I will continue with the chapter. Thank you very much and have a nice day. See you in my next class.